Hello, welcome to your video on factoring ax2+bx+c. You'll notice that there's an a in front of the x squared, which just means it's a number other than 1. And by the end, you will be able to factor trinomials in this form. Alright, so factoring with ax2+bx+c, you still follow the same format as previous, but you're going to use the box method still. So you draw your box. This one has a little bit more guessing and checking going on because now instead of it being obvious that it's going to be an X, in each of those spots on the outside you're not entirely sure. And you still have to get the two middle boxes to add up to 11. So it's kind of guessing and checking. You know you have x and x because that's what makes x squared, but now you have 5 involved also. This one's a little bit easier because 5 is prime, so it's just going to be x and 5. But if it's an even number or something with a lot of factors, then it gets to be a little bit trickier to figure out. And then 2 is 2 and 1. So then we would have just an x here and then a 10x there. 10x and 1x makes 11x, which is what we wanted. So your answer to this problem would be x plus 2 and then 5x plus 1. Alright, 3x squared plus 4x minus 15 is the next one. Again, draw your box. We have 3x squared on the inside and negative 15, and then we need to add up to a positive 4x there. Again, 3x is prime, so that one gets a little bit easier to do. Negative 15 could be 3 and 5, it could be 1 and 15, you just kind of have to figure it out. Let's go with 3 and 5 here. So that would give me 5x, and this would give me 9x. And then one of them has to be negative, so the 5. And that's how I would add these up to get positive 4x there. So my answer is x plus 3, and then 3x minus 5. Now, I'm figuring these out pretty quickly. It's going to take you some getting used to. The more you practice it, the easier it is to see, and you save time that way. But you'll figure it out. Okay, so in some situations, you will factor out a monomial first, and that usually happens when you see a polynomial that has a really big a term, and then you can realize that there's something that you can factor out. In this case, we can factor out or divide out a 3 in all of them. So you're going to take the 3 out. That's kind of, think of it kind of as a GCF there. And then you can factor this out. So we get 6x squared minus 11x plus 4. It becomes kind of, in a sense, a new problem. So now we're going to kind of ignore the 3 on the end there, and we're just going to focus on the 6x squared minus 11x plus 4. That's our focus now, and we're going to make a box to factor, and we want it to add up to negative 11x when we're all done. So this one has an even coefficient, so there's several more options. So this way, you just got to kind of try it out and see what happens. I'm going to try with 2x and 3x. And then to get 4, let's do 2 and 2. And then 2x times 2 is 4x. This would be 6x. That gives me 11. That gives me 10. We need 11. So that's not going to work. It's usually best to just change one at a time instead of both. So now I'm going to use 4 and 1. This would give me 2x and 12x, which would not give me 11x in any way. You can sometimes flip the order around if they're not the same number, so I could put a 4 here and a 1 here, or vice versa. Put a 1 here and a 4 here. That would give me 8x and 3, and that's actually how I come up with getting 11x. And then it needs to be negative, so both of them are negative that way. I would get negative 11x, and that would also give me a positive 4. So my answer then would be 2x minus 1, 3x minus 4. Here's the thing that you're going to forget. You've got to take that 3 from the GCF that was originally factored out. You have to bring that in down to your answer. So your final answer is what I have circled in green here. So just don't forget about that very common mistake. It is your turn. There are 2 questions for you. Be sure you're showing all of your work. There is quite a bit to show. And then check in with me for the answers. The answers are there for you in green. Keep in mind that you can use the FOIL, the box method, or distributing to check your work. That is a great strategy, as there are lots of steps to these. That is the end of your video. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, be sure to ask in class. Have a great day.